definition of a cover out is to get away from your opponent and look around 360 degrees. And there's also a saying that goes through it, which is never do a step through before a crossover. And I'll talk about that in a second. So I'm going to go a little bit on an angle so that you can see everything. And so if I was up here, as I hit the guy, whatever, I knock him down, I'm in my neutral. So you always do a crossover first. Now when you do your cross, so I was looking this way at this guy. As I do my right front crossover, I'm going to look over my shoulder and then back very quickly. And then I take my step out, and then as I do my step through, I'm going to look over my other shoulder and then back. So when you're doing a cover out, you don't want to just keep looking at this guy and do all the little footwork like that. You want to look at this guy as you're doing your first crossover, look back, and then as you're doing your step through, look back. That way you get to see all 360 degrees. If you're practicing, make sure, like if that green sheet on the wall behind me or this blue pad right there was directly behind me, I want to make sure I can see that when I'm doing my cross or cover out. All right, so I'm standing like this, I hit this guy, knock him down. As I do my crossover, if you look at the toe heel line between this toe and this heel, it's going off that way. So I don't want to go around myself and do all kinds of bad rule things. I just got in my own way, right? And I don't have a very good base. So from here, if normally when I'm facing this guy, I draw, here I'll face you. Normally if I'm facing you, I have a line going from my heel to my toe facing you. We have another line that's from this heel to this toe. So if you drew that line, it's actually going to point that way. That's the last line we set up. That's the way you cross out. Unless there's something in your way or the technique says different. I'm always going to cross out my heel. My front crossover goes over there, and I'm stepping out this way. All right? And you should be looking around. I'm talking to you, but I should have been looking around when I was doing it. So I'm facing this guy. Boom, hit him, knock him down. My last line I set up is over this way. So as I do my front crossover, I do the front crossover and I look very quickly. And then I look back and I do my step out, or step out of it. And then as you do your step through, I look over my shoulder just to make sure I see everything back there so that I saw 360 degrees around me, and I still keep looking at this guy. I know he is a threat, or at least used to be a threat, and if he's getting back up, I want to know about it. So I really don't want to take my eyes off him for too long, but I do want to make sure I can take a look around and see what's going on. So the first part of it, to get away from your opponent and look around 360 degrees. Well, you do a cover out for a whole bunch of reasons. You want to create distance between you and your attacker after you're done hitting them. You also, as you do the crossover, you don't want to be a stationary target. So we thought we were fighting one guy, bam, I hit this guy, okay, and he falls down, I'm ha ha ha. I didn't know he had a buddy behind me, and now I'm just standing stationary. The guy behind me can knock my head off if he wants to, because I'm not moving. He gets a free shot, all right? So after you hit the person, you drop them, you have to cover out so that you're not a stationary target for his buddies, all right? It also lets you look around 360 degrees. You don't want to just look one way and that's it. You want to look 360, see if there are any more attackers that you didn't see before the fight started. You never know, there might be a do-gooder trying to jump in and help that guy out. Never do a step through before a crossover. Here's why. Because you'll expose your center line, all right? So again, if I'm facing you, I'm in my neutral, facing you. If, bam, I hit the guy, if I do a step through first, if I step through reverse, you can see my center line as I do my step through. My center line's totally exposed as I step back. So you never do the step through first. You always do a crossover. So we want to protect our center line. If I did a step through, everything was facing you. If I do my crossover first, over to here, you can see that my center line's facing this way. So if the guy still tried to hit me or whatever, then he's just going to get side targets. He's not going to get my center line targets. So you always do a front crossover and then your step through. And yes, it's a front crossover because again, you're trying to protect the groin. So if I went back like this, there's all my center targets again. So I'm basically asking the guy to hit me. Or again, remember, you might have a buddy or something that you didn't see. You're asking that guy to hit you. All right? So a cover out is to get away from your opponent and look around 360 degrees. And just remember, you never do a step through before a crossover. Do your front crossover on the last line you set up, and then do your step through. And you have to look back quick, and look back to the front, look back quick, look to the front. Thank you for watching this video production from Kenpo University.